Welcome back, one and all. My name is Eltimar, and we are going to be continuing our Let's Play of our Triple Crown achievement run of Pillars of Eternity. So, where we left off last time, we had just finished the Ingrid runes. Got some vessel flesh and some vessel. Ooh, there's a fancy. Somebody is getting burned at a stake. That is never fun. Hello? Oh. That's just mildly creepy. She's not going away. Oh, there we go. So let's go see what this thing is. The massive structure is formed of stone, adra, and copper, and covered in strange glyphs. The air around it vibrates with an unusual energy. For those of you who are not in the know, the Ingwithans were an ancient race that utilized soul energy, and they did a bunch of stuff with souls. You'll find out as the game progresses. I don't want to give away too many spoilers this early on, but we're going to head to the Valewood. It's a 6-hour walk, so we're just going to have a quick little meander over there. Our goal is to get to Gilded Vale. That's where we'll be getting our other group members.
Let's sit our spoils down a while.
We are definitely not going to be fighting anything along this road as much as humanly possible. And actually, we should walk in stealth at least a little bit. We already have the maximum amount of camping supplies. Well, that's fancy. So let's continue on, just kind of warily. There's a ghost there.
Keeping an eye out.
But we're not going to follow the ghost, because we do not want to die. We want to get our group members. That's the most important thing. There's almost nothing else that is more important than that right now. If we don't, we will die horrifically. Oh, there's a ghost that's going over that way. We're not going that way either. We're gonna follow the road. Oh, there's an outlaw there. Let's not fight him. We're going to just skirt around the outlaw group. And actually, I wonder if we can cross over here. Careful. This game is going to be a lot of sneaking, by the way. Once we get an actual stealth person in our group, only one person will be sneaking, so that will be significantly easier. There's lots of camping supplies around. I like that. Why does it look like my character's hurt? I know he's not, but that's weird that it appears that he is. We are going to be coming back to the Valewood to clear it out. There are enemies there we want to kill, and there are things there we want to do, but we don't want to die. That's the big thing right now. Getting group members increases your odds of survival by just a monstrous amount. Wow, I can't talk. Okay, so we are in town. Town is much safer, significantly safer, one might add, than the outside, although it's not perfectly safe. That is a lot of dead bodies hanging from that tree. Lots of people getting hung in this place.
You must be one of the new settlers. Welcome to Gilded Vale. You'll be pleased to know that we've had some recent vacancies here.
A man approaches you. His skin is dull and gray as the desolate village behind him. He scans you with sunken, lifeless eyes, his voice a dry croak. He glances at the gnarled, leafless monstrosity of a tree next to him. I feel at home already.
Of course, we'll need to make some inquiries first. The inestimable Lord Radric VII has taken great pains to insulate our town from Widewind's legacy. Have you ever sired a Hollowborn child?
His gaze swivels back to you. He appraises you over half-moon spectacles and scratches his chin. No.
Are you absolutely certain? Lord Raderick has made it his first priority to eliminate this scourge from our village.
His eyes narrow.
I should warn you, stranger. Here in Gilded Vale, we have a special place for dissidents, charlatans, and those who would hide a curse in our midst.
He steps to the side and inclines his head ever so slightly towards the deformed tree.
His lordship's wife is with child and due any day now. Without his approval, I shan't be able to find you a permanent settlement. It will have to wait until after the birth. We can continue our interview then, after the bell tolls from Radric's hold to signal my lord's new heir. In the meantime, you can find temporary accommodations at the inn just southwest of here.
He folds his arms. Before I got here, I saw several people conducting a strange ceremony near some ruins. He regards me carefully. You'll want to mind where you mentioned that. Trespassing on Engwithan's ruins is illegal, not to mention dangerous. You probably saw someone attempting some new ritual to appease the gods. People will try anything these days. Barath have mercy. We certainly have. I don't think so. Just as they finished, there was a bivouac. He polishes his spectacles on his sleeve. If you had been that close to a bivouac, you wouldn't be standing here. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to ask. It's important that everyone in Gilded Vale understands our rules. You mentioned something about Hollowborn and Widewind's legacy before. He blinks. I forgot that you foreigners do not have this curse in your homelands. The Hollowborn have been a scourge upon the Deerwood for almost 15 years now. He lowers his voice to a whisper. Children born without souls. He shakes his head. Pitiful, dumb things that breathe. Barely, but do not truly live. Some say the Hollowborn are a disease. Some say they are a punishment from the gods. He raises his empty hands. In truth, nobody knows. But they began spreading after the Saints' War, and so the name Widewind's Legacy stuck in honor of that foul, blasphemous pretender. His voice shakes with vitriol. I see. Lord Radric's decree may seem strict at times, but he has our best interests at heart. He nods. I have been feeling strange ever since a close call with a bivouac. Is there somebody in town who could help?
Whatever your problem, it sounds like a matter for an animancer. However, the only animancer in Gilded Vale isn't in any condition to speak.
He points at a bod.
Consider yourself fortunate. After she failed Lord Radric, we saw to it that she wouldn't profit from the misplaced trust of others. A bad cure is often worse than none at all.
The magistrate frowns and points to a body hanging from the tree. He sneers as he said that second part.
But if you're set on finding a bottle of troll piss or a dead Audra pebble to rub on your forehead, you're welcome to check her pockets. A little corpse stink is nothing when you're digging for shit. My advice, however, is to be satisfied that you escaped and leave it at that.
Okay, goodbye then, sir.
Keep out of...
Listen!
2 tolls. Let that be the last.
3. Gods have mercy.
It seems your arrival is ill-timed.
Urgit looks out towards the east, his expression unreadable. He blinks slowly and turns his attention back to us.
3 bells toll only for the death of a Radric. I fear Lord Radric's heir is lost, or else Hollowborn, and so lost all the same. You should tread carefully. Circumstances have changed a great deal.
A peculiar spasm crosses his face, and the corner of his mouth quirks up in a mirthless smile. What happened? He shrugs one bony shoulder. I will know more details when the messengers arrive. The vagaries of childbirth, perhaps, but that is not your concern. Don't threaten me, little man. He shakes his head unmoved. It is no threat, only a warning. Lord Radric will tolerate no threats to his kin, or those who live upon his lands. Grief will not make him more docile. What do you mean? You come to us in a time of mourning. The legacy has struck at the heart of Gilded Vale. Our efforts to redeem ourselves in the eyes of Barath must be redoubled. He sets a steady gaze on us. Does this affect the Lord's offer to new settlers? I can be sure of nothing right now. I advise you to get some rest. The inn, or a stable for all I care. Find me afterwards. I will know more soon enough. Farewell. Alright, we're going to grab Adir, who's over here. Just for the moment. We only need him for one fight, really. And we can steal his loot.
In that tree? I could introduce you.
Looking for anyone who can help me feel better. He gives an understanding nod as he takes a deep, long drag from his pipe. My condolences. He exhales and turns his attention away, watching the village around him. Well, it looks like he doesn't want to talk right now. I thought we could pick him up, but I guess not. This is where we have some fun. You see 4 people gathered by the door to the inn. Their raised voices and chopping gestures suggest an argument reaching its climax. The first figure raises his hands for calm. His face is partially obscured by a hood, but his height and stature suggest an elf.
I meant no offense. Let's put this matter to rest over a round, shall we? My treat.
Hoping to soothe our pride with a few Adira coppers, eh? We don't need your coin.
What is going on? One of the other men points at the hooded elf. His eyes are red from drink, but his gaze is focused. Mocking us even while he shelters in our village just goes to show you what these fancy Adir manners are worth. We don't take to that kind of treatment, not from foreigners, and especially not from Adirans. The woman looks me up and down, and that means you too. Don't push us.
Go on. Say it again. I'm itching for an excuse.
The second man thrusts his chin at the elf. He stinks of sour ale.
Why, you're itching for the kindling touch of your sister, you cocksfeather!
I'll cut that barrel-licking tongue out of your head.
A collective cry of outrage rises from the 3 locals. The second man snarls.
This is a misunderstanding. I didn't say whatever it is you think I said. We've nigh quarrel.
Horror and shock paint themselves across the elven man's face in broad, hasty strokes. He frowns and swallows. He plants his feet. Something surly and raw flickers through his eyes.
That's where you're wrong.
You're not going to take that from him, are you? They turn their ire on you. No, and we're not taking from you either. Well, jerks. Luckily they're not particularly hard, apparently. We are in Path of the Damned, right? As the last of the attackers falls, the elf turns to you, the tension almost gone from his smooth face.
Not quite how I hoped to get to know the neighbors. Thank you for your timely assistance with that awkward situation.
You mean for slaughtering them? You're welcome.
Well, that is one way of putting it.
He gives me a quick smile. He straightens his hood and you note the remains of fraying embroidery on his gloves. His boots are caked with the dirt of many months' travel, but the leatherwork beneath is sturdy and fine.
I suppose introductions are in order after that little fiasco. Aloth Corvisor, at your service.
You better have more to say for yourself than that. He holds up his hands. Please, I didn't mean to drag you into this.
I'm a wizard by training, and an adventurer by necessity. I was born in the Seathwood, part of the mainland of the Adir Empire, and both of my parents served the nobility, which afforded me an education for which I am grateful. However, there were no open positions in those houses, and so I decided to seek new means in a new land.
Except that you're full of shit, that's not what happened at all.
And how exactly did you come to be here?
I was traveling with a caravan, but we were separated near some ruins.
In Gwithan ruins? Oh, those can be dangerous places during the best of times, which these are not. In half the locals would arrest you for trespassing and the rest would kill you outright. I'm curious, what exactly did you find there?
A bivouac.
And you survived? I've heard such a thing was impossible. But it seems you either have a knack for timing or the favor of the gods.
He regards me with a new interest. Just how did you manage to cross those 3 drunks?
I'm afraid that was a matter of misunderstandings and mistranslations. It doesn't help that people in these parts remember their war with Adir like it was yesterday.
He tenses his fingers and looks away. You did tell that one man to go fuck his sister. Ah, that. He clears his throat and adjusts his sleeves. As I tried to tell them, they misheard me. Happens all too easily after a few pints, and the accent doesn't help. Heard the same thing. For just a moment he looks as if he's about to say something else. His expression brightens with mischief, but before he can speak, he forces a tight smile, biting his lips so hard you expect to see blood. Finally, his face relaxes and he shakes his head. I should speak more clearly next time. My apologies. Well, I should get going.
As should I, given recent events. It's just as well. I've had enough of the watered wine and lumpy beds at the inn. They say even the owner tired of the place. Just up and left one day. It explains quite a lot about the upkeep. Perhaps I could join you. I could use a change of scenery, and I find it's better to travel in numbers.
So do I. Let's travel then.
Excellent. I shall follow you.
Mostly because I want your stuff to sell.
What is it?
Let's grab all their loot. We're gonna need it all to make new characters. What So I might break this video into two separate parts. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna... how do I want to do this? Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break this into two videos. One's gonna be longer. It's gonna show the character creation, how I created all the characters that are gonna be in our group. And the other one is just going to be from this point, and then after I make the group onwards, because we're about at 15 minutes, so I'm going to do 15 minutes more of actual gameplay, and then I'll have one video where it shows the character creations, and then one where it doesn't, and you guys can just kind of choose which one you guys want to watch, because one's going to be significantly longer than the other. So I'm going to pause the video here. For those who are going to be watching me create characters, it'll be restarting in just a couple seconds, and if not, you'll see a jump cut to where we have all of our characters made. I'll see some of you in a few minutes, and some of you in a few or more minutes. And we are back. For those of you who didn't watch the character creation screen, we now have our characters created and ready to rock. I'll just quickly briefly go down who they are. We have our paladin, of course. We have a level 1 chanter. We have a level 1 fighter. We have a level 1 priest. We have a level 1 rogue. And we have a level 1 wizard. Their stat distributions are fairly good, I think. Hopefully anyways. And we're going to move on from here. Let's go rob this place a little. I think people will be mad if we steal stuff.
Well,
is there any, We're gonna go find the blacksmith just to see if we can get some slightly better equipment for our group. We left Aloth at the tavern to just kind of lounge around and stew in his own filth for a while. And we need to go to the Black Hammer Smithery. We're gonna go take a look for some items. We still have some gold to spend. We still have 1200. I want to get some basic survivability. I just realized that our main tank is huge compared to all of our other ones. Like, he is monstrous. He's like 8 feet tall, and the next highest person's like 5. We have a very short group. Alright, Smithier, talk to me here. This Amoa man is of impressive build, towering above the countertop. His skin is the dusky blue of the deeper oceans, and his thick arms boast corded muscle. Small ears frame a square-jawed face coated with and smeared with soot and arcing black tattoos alike. He offers you a broad smile as you approach. Welcome. You're the first new face I've seen in quite some time. What can I do for you? What do you have here? You come to us at a strange time, I'm afraid. The stock's not what it used to be, but we find weapons and armor to offer yet, all forged right here at the Black Hammer. What happened? We just don't have the supplies. Been expecting the next delivery for near on a week now, and haven't seen a sign of it. Have to expect they were hit by bandits. The road out east is crawling with them. Or my workers ran off with the wagons themselves, maybe, to make some coin. As if that lot would dare. He snorts. Tau Tanu scratches his jaw, thinking, if you happen to be headed that way, maybe you could keep an eye out for a supply wagon, or my shipment at least. They'd be cutting through the Black Meadow, I expect. Only good road for it. As it is, most of our weapons go to His Grace, Lord Redrick. Tau Tanu glances at the nearby guard, and that is as it should be. But it doesn't leave much for outsiders. We just don't have the iron. Alright, I'll find your supplies. Tau Tanu nods. Then you have my thanks. You bring those supplies back, and I'll have plenty more to offer you. A discount to start. Oh, and if you find my workers, tell them to hurry it up, or they can take up farming instead. I'm pretty sure that they're dead. We're not going to look at any of these backers. That's what these guys are. So we're just going to kind of look around. That is thievery. Okay, so it actually does tell you what thievery is. I wasn't sure on expert mode if it would or not. That is flat out thievery. You can tell by the mask, sort of masquerade type mask that denotes a thief or a rogue. Let's go to Ingrid's house. Oh, this isn't stealing. I'm going to grab that then. It's good to grab anything you can get your hands on. We're going to sell it because we need the money desperately. This man and woman appear to have been in deep conversation, working at closing two bulging satchels. They move to embrace until the woman notices your approach and pauses, her smile faltering a little.
How do you do?
Can we help you? She looks to her companion, brows furrowing with confusion. Do you know this man, Naunton? Naunton shakes his head. I don't believe so. Was there something you wanted, stranger? You two seem to be in a hurry. Yes, I imagine so, Ingrid laughs. We're packing for a trip, actually. I've been meaning to visit Defiance Bay, and she looks at Naunton. Well, in truth, I think I've had my fill of this town. Naunton reaches to take her hand. It's time for some new scenery, he says. Is there anything you can tell me about Gilded Vale? Ingrid smiles wryly. Only that you'll want to be moving out as soon as you can. You've seen the tree, I imagine. But the rot goes deeper. If you're looking for work, I'd say you have a better chance of it elsewhere. We're headed for Defiance Bay ourselves, Naunton adds. Interesting.
Yes?
Why are they looting so quickly? You guys won't mind if I take that, considering that's not your house, I'm pretty sure. I wonder why the music's not playing. Maybe it's just not the right point in time for the music to go. Oh, there we go. There's some music, some tunes. Let's head in here. We're just going to go house to house for a little bit. See what there is around. This is an espionage place. Kira Roth is in here. Or Iloth. It's a backer. No offense to the backers, but you're kind of a little bit immersion breaking. You can tell that they're backers because of their nameplates and by the fact that when you talk to them it goes BEW, and then you're supposed to like read their description of their event. We do need to rest at the inn. I think that's our actual what we're supposed to be doing. Yeah, so I'm supposed to rest. I have no leads on the White March or the White March Part 2, and as we shouldn't because we will get just demolished up there. Our Triple Crown run will come to an abrupt ending if we go there. Oh, you're not a backer? Good. Opera. A dear wooden woman is standing in front of the fireplace, humming a quiet tune to herself, or perhaps to her unborn child, for she is clearly quite pregnant. She turns her head slightly as you enter.
Gods keep you.
Well, finally, I was starting to think... The woman makes a startled noise once she turns around and sees you. Oh, I'm sorry, I was expecting somebody else. She gives you a cautious smile. Can I help you? Who are you expecting? My sister Kalisha. She is traveling with one of the caravans. She sent a letter before she came. She said she was going to pay her way by working as a guard for the caravan master. She always was a tough one. She pauses. I don't suppose you've seen her on the road, or the caravan, perhaps. It's Master Odima's. Kalisha didn't make it. Afra covers her mouth with a hand, eyes wide with horror. For a few moments she can manage nothing but a strangled, voiceless gasping, her eyes brimming with tears. I told her it was a dangerous path to take. Kalisha was always so certain she could take on any danger. Afra sniffs. Oh, my poor sister. I'm sorry, stranger. I can't believe she's gone. If only I hadn't called her here. If I hadn't written to her, she might still be alive, somewhere. Afra's face crumples, and a solitary tear rolls down her cheek. Quit your sniveling. How are you going to raise a child if you're this weak? Afra looks up at you with stunned surprise. For a moment, a defensive anger sweeps across her features, and then she lowers her head. I was never as strong as she was. All I ever wanted was a quiet life, and now there's nobody to help me. Is there anything I can do? Afra looks at you with some surprise before dabbing at her nose with a sleeve. That's kind of you to offer, but I don't know if I can impose this on you. It's not a small favor. Afra wipes at her eyes. I'm worried about the baby, about the legacy. I told Kalisha as much as I could, but all I know is that for a long time now, every child born in Gilded Vale has been soulless. Empty. It's happened to so many mothers, and Lord Redrick, he's exiled all of them, calling it a sign of the gods' disfavor, she sniffs. With my Hathort gone, I don't know how I'd manage if I lost my home too. I hoped Kalisha could help me. They say Ranga, the old midwife, knows a way to prevent a child from being hollowborn, but she moved south to Anslog's Compass 2 seasons ago. The journey's too far for me. I can't make it as I am. But I don't have anyone else now, with Kalisha gone. More tears run down her face. Please, can you help me? That's a long way to go. What's in this for me? I can only offer you coin. Well, that's perfect. But Ranga has many potions and crafts for sale. Maybe you'll find something of interest, so it wouldn't be a wasted trip. She sniffs. I'm sorry, I don't have much. You're welcome to some of my food if you want. I have some fruit. I'll find Ranga for you. Offer blinks eyes wide. Oh, you will? Oh, gods bless you. Here, I'll give you coin to pay her with. You needn't trouble yourself with that. I think it's a drink that she fashions out of, well, I'm not sure, but it shouldn't be too much of a burden to carry it back. And Slog's compass is what we call the lagoon to the south. You'll have to cross the wilds to get there. That's what keeps me from trying it myself. She clasps her hands together. No clasps. Thank you again, truly. You'll be saving us both. She sets a hand on her stomach, smiling through her tears. We might actually have to take, what was that one ability? Not deep faith, but the faith that prevents you from losing bonuses for being too nice. Currently I have major fatigue, that's not good. I wonder if it tells me anywhere if I'm cruel or not. You think it must. I've taken 172 damage and I've dealt out 300, wow.
Well,
Alright, so, I mean, we've pretty much looked around the town for the most part. Went to the smithy, went there. Edier won't talk to us until we're rested up for the night. Whew. I don't know why I just had you on there. I'm actually wide awake. I feel great today. And then I told her that's not the pistol. Wait, I want to hear the end of this joke. Ha! That wasn't a good punchline. You should reevaluate your life as a comedian. It is not acceptable. Alright, so I think we're going to rest up for the night and then
Greetings.
we're going to call it a video. Hello again, and whatever. I'd like a room, please. Of course, we keep them nice and tidy. We'll take the common room for 0 copper, because we're poor and cheap. Your sleep is restless and fevered, assaulted by hisses and whispers, blanketed with a suffocating anxiety. You open your eyes to awaken, and find yourself in front of Gilded Vale's gallows tree, the creaking of its ropes growing louder in your mind until the sound is deafening. Hanging from the tree is an old dwarf woman whose face is shriveled inward like moldering fruit. Her head hangs limply to one side. As you look at her, she looms larger and larger in your mind until she is mere inches from your face. Suddenly, her head snaps up, her eyes open. They are empty, and behind them is vast nothingness that makes your stomach drop. Her mouth slowly parts, and with a gust of rancid air, she speaks a word. Watcher. You jolt awake, the foul smell of the dwarf woman's breath still permeating your nostrils. Sweat runs down your face in thick droplets, and your skin is soaked from head to toe. You remember the woman. You remember seeing her decaying face when you spoke with the magistrate. He called her an animancer. Though it fills you with new, queasy apprehension, you feel a strange compulsion to see this woman once more, if only to confirm that she is truly dead. And now we have to go deal with that problem. But not in this video, guys. Actually, you know what? There's one more quest to do here. We're gonna go pick it up. Backers, again. There's actually 2 things we want to do in this place. There's carousers. These are backer people again. And we are going to... We can't quick save, right? This is not a theft.
I'll have this open in no time. As promised.
There is a duelist hat, a rapier, and padded armor here. Important-ish. We also want to go to this room, I think. That is not theft either. I'm not sure about this one. That's a lot of our lockpicks.
It's done.
Oh, it is a... Oh, well, we got some experience from it at least. I guess that's something. I remember there being a ring somewhere. Maybe that changed. I don't remember. Let's talk to Scylla Ammon.
I'm here.
Let's just make sure we get in position in case anything weird
Yes.
goes on. I don't think anything will, but...
well,
Oh, go away. These are backer people. Okay.
yes.
Black Hound. Let's go talk to the Black Hound. This hound stares intently at the covered window, head cocked as if waiting to hear a particular sound. It looks up when you approach and whines a low note, tail wagging slightly. I'll pet the dog. The dog's tail thumps happily against the floorboards. I think we have to go talk to somebody about the dog. We're gonna go do that really quickly and then we'll call it a video. I didn't realize that those were backers. Oh, I thought they were actual characters of, like, import.
Hello.
Hey, you. What's the story with that dog upstairs? Oh, that poor thing? She's still waiting for the owner of the place. Thing is, I don't think he's coming back. It's been a long time now. We've tried our best, but with things how they are, we don't have much attention to spare for the Hound. I'd like to know more about the Black Hound. Really? Well, let me see. The actual building's been here for years, but the Black Hound's fairly new. We get a lot of new faces here too, fewer than we used to, I'll admit. I used to work at the tables, actually, until the old owner up and left. Nobody's sure what happened to him. He even left his poor hound behind. That's the name, see, the Black Hound? It's still sitting upstairs pining after him, poor old girl. Place ended up in my hands somehow. She lasts my very own inn. A lot of hard work involved, but it's been worth it so far. You only serve porridge? It isn't by choice, I assure you. We used to serve some of the finest meals in the Deerwood. We've had a damnable run of luck is all. It's been a bad season for the crops and we're running low on supplies. I sent Tenfrith up north to stock up. Tenfrith's our cook, you see, an artist with a good roast, but it's been days since he was supposed to return, and we haven't seen any sign of him since. She sighs again. I've only just taken up for the last owner myself. I don't know what I'll do if he doesn't turn up. I'll try and find him for you. Really? Her face brightens. I'd be grateful to you if you did. He was traveling through the Vale Wood. It's probably nothing, a broken wheel maybe, but I do worry. You see him safely home, and I think everyone in here would sing your praises. Nobody much likes my porridge. Well, then, we have a quest to do. It looks like we have things to do. Things are afoot. Several afoots. And that's going to be the end of the video, guys. It is morning time in this town, and we are ready to begin our adventure in full with our full group. We're actually going to change our formation to something along the lines of this. It's a much more well-versed formation for us. We got our lead tank, our 2 off-tank / main tankers, and then our DPS in the back. That's pretty good. So, like always, if you guys have any suggestions or comments, please leave them below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.